Welcome to Whispers and Confessions. There might be a twist waiting, so please make sure to watch until the end. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Let's begin right away.
Hey there, everyone. I've got a story on my mind that'll hit you right in the feels. It's about Amanda, 66 years old, and her husband, Daniel, as they navigate life's later chapters together. Now in their late 60s, they're cherishing lazy mornings with coffee on their sunny California porch, a far cry from the days of racing against the clock with packed schedules and school carpools. If you're curious to see how their journey unfolds with surprising twists and heartfelt moments, stick around. If their story moves you as much as it did me, I'd love your support with a subscription and a like for more tales like theirs. So, let's dive in. At 66, Amanda lives a tranquil life with Daniel in a cozy single-family home nestled in a quiet California suburb. Though married for decades, they struggled to have children until Amanda turned 40, when they held their only son, Ethan, for the first time with trembling hands, a gift they'd almost given up on dreaming about. Amanda can still picture those hectic mornings, whipping up oatmeal from scratch before dashing to get Ethan to school on time, often with his forgotten science project in tow, no matter how exhausted they were. "I'd do anything for my boy," she'd often say. Ethan honored their sacrifices by thriving, graduating from a top local high school, and later studying at a university in New York. Today, he's carving out a career at an IT company. Whenever Amanda reflects on how her once shy son has transformed into a confident professional in the big city, a soft surge of satisfaction fills her chest. Last year, Ethan tied the knot, and the wedding marked a turning point for Amanda. She sensed a steady strength in Olivia, his bride and a junior from his college days. From the start, a comfort knowing Ethan had found his match. Their ceremony was an intimate hotel affair. When Ethan took the mic and said, "Mom, I'm standing here today because of everything you've given up for me," her breath hitched, eyes stinging with unshed tears as his gratitude washed over her. In that moment, every hardship of motherhood felt worth it. The day Ethan left for college years earlier, Amanda had felt a sudden ache of emptiness while tidying his empty room in their now silent house. And on the drive home after the wedding, when Daniel muttered, "A mother can't stay a mother forever," Amanda furrowed her brow, a flicker of unease stirring. Did he mean letting go, or was there a deeper loss she hadn't faced? Little did she know, the next page of their story was already turning. After the wedding, Ethan and Olivia were swamped with work, so visits home were scarce. Just a quick stop around Christmas for a day or two. Then, out of the blue, Ethan called. "I've got some business in California this weekend. Mind if we swing by on our way back? We'd love to stay overnight if that's okay." Hearing his cautious tone over the phone, a burst of excitement caught Amanda off guard. "Of course, Ethan. I'll freshen up the bed sheets and blankets for you," she replied, her voice quivering with anticipation. Ethan chuckled, his voice carrying a rare softness that tugged at her. "Thanks, Mom. I've been missing home." After hanging up, Amanda hurried to the bedroom, pulled out an old family photo, and grinned. The thought of their home, buzzing with life again, stirred a rush of anticipation in her. This would be their first overnight stay, and hosting both Ethan and Olivia felt like welcoming cherished guests. Even Daniel lit up. "Been too long since I shared a brew with him," like after his championship game when we toasted under the bleachers, as he organized the fridge, muttering to himself, "Gotta grab his favorite brew." When Ethan and Olivia finally stepped through the front door, the house hummed with a forgotten buzz, their voices banishing years of hush. Olivia's quick giggle as she handed over a thoughtful trinket melted any lingering awkwardness, making Amanda feel an instant kinship. Ever considerate, Olivia bowed slightly, saying, "Thanks for having us." Her friendly vibe quickly made Amanda feel right at home. "Oh, don't worry about a thing. Just relax, you're family now, Amanda said, a genuine smile spreading across her face. For dinner prep, the two women teamed up in the kitchen. Mom, let me pitch in, Olivia offered cheerfully. Amanda nodded. Sure, can you chop some veggies for the salad? Chopping veggies together, Amanda felt a twinge of a missed dream, a daughter to share these small, sacred routines with. Olivia laughed. I'm awful with a knife. Hope I don't mess this up. Amanda chuckled back. No worries. I used to just squash the tomatoes when I started. Meanwhile, Daniel and Ethan were glued to a baseball game on TV in the living room. Ethan, your team's still tanking. Daniel ribbed. Ethan grinned. Dad, what about yours? The rowdy cheers from the TV blended with laughter from the kitchen, filling the house with an energy it hadn't known in years. Amanda hadn't dreamed a night like this would return. Tonight's gonna be amazing, she whispered to herself while setting the table, already feeling an indescribable joy welling up before they even sat down. But she had no clue an unexpected twist awaited at the night's end. The dinner table was anchored by chicken wings, crafted from Daniel's grandma's old recipe, a quiet nod to family history. Amanda noticed an uncommon peace in their faces, the familiar table suddenly a haven under the soft light. Mom, your cooking is unreal, Olivia gushed, her eyes wide with awe. Amanda, a bit shy, smiled. Thanks, but it's better because we made it together. When Olivia bit into a wing and asked, This sauce is incredible. What's your secret? Amanda grinned. It's straight from Daniel's grandma. Learned it in our first year of marriage. As dinner rolled on, beer and wine flowed freely. Ethan, clearly taking after his dad, savored his beer, face flushed as he smirked at Daniel. Still remember you sneaking me a sip at 16, sparking a shared, hearty chuckle. Olivia, with a cheeky grin, added, Dad, Ethan turns into such a softy when he drinks. Daniel roared, Really? He was the same as a kid, always clinging to us. All right, cut it out. Ethan mumbled, his face beet red as he laughed sheepishly, sending everyone into fits of giggles. Amid the lively banter, Olivia got up, neatly stacked the empty plates, and carried them to the kitchen. You don't need to clean up. You're our guest tonight, Amanda insisted, but Olivia shook her head with a sunny smile. No, I don't mind one bit. Watching Olivia tie on an apron and tackle the dishes with ease, Amanda thought, she's such an amazing daughter-in-law. Every gesture radiated sincerity and care, striking a perfect balance that made Amanda feel completely at ease. If I had a daughter, would it feel like this? That thought flickered through her mind, stirring a long-dormant maternal instinct. Wrapped in the cozy glow of family laughter, she silently wished nights like this could last forever. But the tranquility of that evening was about to be rattled by something she never saw coming. As the night grew late, the family's warm bonding time drifted on. After dinner, they sipped hot tea with cookies, and after a brief pause, Olivia spoke up. So, we've actually been discussing starting a family soon. At that, Amanda's fork paused midair, her startled gaze locking with Daniel's in wordless wonder. Seriously, she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Olivia smiled bashfully, yeah. Now that our careers are a bit more settled, we're ready to start planning. Her tone held a touch of shyness, but also firm determination. Ethan, beside her, nodded with a tender gaze. A lump caught in Amanda's chest, her vision clouding as the idea of grandma took root. Really? I never imagined I'd become a grandma this soon, she said, her voice shaky with emotion. Daniel seemed momentarily speechless, but soon smiled, rubbing his chin. Time to dust off those old toy cars I kept from Ethan's days for the little one. That's incredible. I'm so excited, Amanda said, a ripple of delight stirring deep inside. The word grandma no longer felt like a far-off fantasy, but a tangible reality. It was as if a tiny, Buried hope had started to pulse within her. Whoever the baby looks like, they'll be adorable. It's best to have kids young, Amanda blurted out with a grin, her mind flashing to her own challenges with the late pregnancy and the exhaustion of juggling work and parenting around the clock. Yeah, we're hoping to make it happen before we hit our late 30s, Olivia replied earnestly, her fingers trembling just slightly, a detail Amanda caught. This girl's got it figured out. She's preparing to be a mom with such care, Amanda thought, deeply moved by the realization. Once I've got a grandkid, I'll be in New York every week, she teased with a laugh. Ethan playfully shot back, that might be a bit much, Mom, and the table burst into laughter once more. That night, before bed, Amanda gripped her hands tightly under the blanket. A grandchild, she thought. The image of cradling that little life ignited a gentle glow in her soul. But she couldn't have predicted the sound that would soon echo through her, shaking her to her core. It was past 1 a.m., the house cloaked in stillness, when Amanda stirred awake. Thirsty, she got up to grab a glass of water. That's when she heard it. Oh yes. Her breath snagged, ears pricking as if the faint groan through the wall was a trick of her mind. But from the next room, Ethan and Olivia's bedroom, came unmistakable sounds. Sweet, heavy breaths intertwined with muffled moans. They can't be not here in our home, she insisted to herself, yet a guilty urge pushed her to listen closer. Olivia's soft, restrained gasps, the rhythmic creak of the bed frame, and every so often, Ethan's low, ragged breathing. She knew she shouldn't listen, yet her pulse pounded wildly in the dead of night. Amanda's face burned as the sounds washed over her. I shouldn't be hearing this, she told herself, but a curious part of her marveled. Was I ever this bold, this alive, in my own youth? The noises thrummed like a secret pulse, sending a shiver racing across her skin with unexpected allure. Deep inside, a restless craving she hadn't felt in years began to stir. Those intimate sounds echoed through her very being, rousing a desire she'd long buried. To her shock, her body tingled with awareness. When did I last feel this way? A hidden corner of her being ignited, as if a suppressed yearning was clawing its way to the surface. Then, a warm arm slipped around her from behind. Hey, babe, you catching this too? Or am I crazy? Daniel murmured low, a hesitant laugh betraying his vulnerability, his hand resting on her shoulder. Startled, Amanda turned to face him. His eyes were alert. He'd clearly picked up on the same noises. A sly, intense glint flashed in his gaze, reminding her of sultry glances from their early, wilder years. They're really going at it in our house at this hour? Amanda whispered. Daniel smirked, shrugging, that's young love for ya. But a barely contained hunger lingered in his expression, and Amanda didn't miss it. Their gazes held, the space between them charged with a quiet, daring energy, until his fingers tentatively grazed her arm. Babe, what do you say we have some fun of our own? It's been ages, Daniel suggested, one eyebrow cocked with a playful, daring grin. Time seemed to freeze. She hadn't expected such a proposition, especially now, but to her surprise, her body didn't push back. Instead, those passionate sounds from the next room seemed to awaken a dormant pulse quickening deep inside. But we haven't done anything in years, Amanda hesitated. Daniel gently clasped her hand, whispering, that's exactly why we should. His touch was warm and steady, and in that moment, she saw a raw, masculine fire in his eyes she hadn't witnessed in forever. His weathered face still carried that boyish grin she felt for decades ago, and his deep gray eyes burned with the intensity of their younger days. His strong arms and broad chest wrapped her in a comforting strength. As his hand slid to her waist, a buried part of her, raw and womanly, started to stir. The instant their skin touched, her body, dry and untouched for so long, responded like a desert soaking up rain, aching for more. Amanda quietly grabbed some lotion from the nightstand and slipped back under the covers beside him. Hushing their breaths, without a single word, their energy passed between them, silent but undeniable. As Daniel's hand encircled her waist, Amanda felt the deep trust forged over decades in his familiar warmth. Even in his rough grip, there was a tenderness that cherished her. His fingertips grazed her skin, leaving paths of electricity, and Amanda shivered, swallowing her breath. "Oh, you," she moaned softly, wrapping her arms around his neck. "Touch me," Daniel growled in a low, gritty voice, guiding her hand to his chest. Amanda felt the hard planes of his body, the intense warmth of his skin, and her breath hitched. His rough texture pulsed under her fingers, a fierce jolt surging beneath her skin, stirring every dormant nerve. When his lips pressed against the sensitive skin of her nape, his hot breath soaked into her, sending a sharp current racing through her veins. As Daniel's calloused hand slid past her thigh, delving deeper, Amanda squirmed under his touch, her body arching instinctively. When his fingers brushed her most intimate spot, an overwhelming wave of pleasure crashed through her, stealing her breath. "Daniel, please," she begged in a hushed, needy whisper, pressing herself tighter against him. Daniel let out a low, husky chuckle at her plea, pulling her fully into his embrace, his solid body dominating hers with raw intensity. When his lips claimed hers, the fierce, hungry kiss shattered her senses. His tongue invaded her mouth, tangling with hers in a desperate dance, and Amanda couldn't hold back, clutching his back with urgent need. As a longing she'd suppressed for decades erupted, she glimpsed their younger selves, tangled in hurried passion on the hood of their first beat-up Chevy after a drive-in movie. She gave herself over completely, craving every part of him. As Daniel positioned himself above her, his weight and energy pinned her down, making her breath come in short, frantic gasps. His movements grew bolder, more urgent, and she matched his rhythm, spiraling deeper into a vortex of raw ecstasy. "Oh, Daniel, harder, please," she gasped, moaning his name, and Daniel, driven by her desperate cries, gripped her with fierce passion. His hot breath grazed her ear as he rasped, "Babe, you're driving me insane," and Amanda felt her body dissolve under a liquid rush of sensation. Finally, as their bodies fused into one, Amanda's mind blanked out, her entire frame shuddering in a powerful, earth-shaking climax. It was as if a tidal surge of bliss slammed into her, erupting at the height of pleasure, and in Daniel's tight hold, she felt a release so profound, as if years of tension melted away. Tremors lingered as she held him tight, a soft gasp breaking free, part relief, part joy, a connection remade in that still moment. Burying her face in his shoulder, struggling to steady her breathing, tears pricked her eyes as she thought, "We can still connect like this." Daniel, clutching her close, groaned low in his throat, riding the peak of ecstasy with her. In that raw, unguarded moment, Amanda felt she'd fully reclaimed the woman she'd lost touch with. Deep inside, every pent-up yearning seemed to break free, flooding her with intense satisfaction and a soothing calm. "God, we're still us," she whispered in her mind, melting into his embrace. The faint, sensual energy from the next room blended with their own heavy breaths. In this uninhibited moment of exploring each other's bodies and unleashing suppressed desires, Amanda felt a freedom as if something locked deep within had finally been set loose. Feeling Daniel's fevered touch and the primal intensity of his breaths, she reveled in the vivid sensation of being alive again. This night transcended mere physical connection. It was a rediscovery of a buried part of herself, reigniting the untamed rush of their youth in those fevered, sweaty moments. The next morning, though it was a typical day with sunlight streaming in and birds chirping outside, a timid hush hung between them, punctuated by shy smirks over their steaming mugs. "Back not sore?" Daniel asked with a teasing smirk, wincing as he moved. "That ancient bed always wins." "You holding up?" he added, nodding to their worn-out mattress, the same one they'd giggled on during late-night whispers years ago. Amanda, cheeks faintly pink, shot back. "What about you? I see you limping a bit." They shared knowing grins, unable to mask the lingering muscle aches. Preparing breakfast felt a tad clumsy with their stiff bodies, but even that seemed kind of funny and nostalgic. Who would have thought they'd wake up to a morning like this again? That feeling sank deep into her core. While brewing coffee, Amanda fiddled with her spoon, a faint smile creeping in, the soreness a cherished reminder of a vitality she'd believed was gone for good. "After last night, it's like I'm seeing you with fresh eyes," she said. Daniel grinned, replying playfully, "Same here. Seems we've still got plenty of life left in us, huh?" Sitting together at the table over coffee, Daniel tossed out casually, "Babe, we gotta start working out." "You bet." "Our bodies are creaking like old doors," Amanda laughed, nodding in agreement. That afternoon, they decided to take a walk together. They started with a leisurely 30-minute stroll around the neighborhood. They didn't hold hands, but walking side by side felt strangely new yet soothing. "Gotta build up strength to carry our grandkids someday," Amanda said with a smile. Daniel nodded, a touch of pride in his expression, adding with a wink, "Gotta get ready for round 2, starting now." "What are you even saying?" Amanda laughed, feeling her cheeks heat up. Thinking back, she wasn't ashamed of the night before. Reflecting on last night's electric passion, she was overjoyed to know that even at their age, her body and soul were still very much alive. This wasn't just a physical act, it felt like a fresh start as husband and wife. Even as bodies age, Amanda saw that a hint of fun or longing could still brighten their routine days, just like last night. Marriage, family, the longer you're together, the more you take each other for granted. But moments like last night, charged with rediscovery, can remind you of what's still alive between you. Walking together, they chuckled, "When our grandkid arrives, we'll play with them in the park." Amanda softly took Daniel's hand, sure that the years ahead would bring fresh joy, perhaps even a small hand to guide. Brushing her hair before the mirror, Amanda's gentle grin reflected a truth: love and excitement don't fade with the years. She longed to share countless more mornings with Daniel. "Let's keep walking together. You and me." Amanda and Daniel proved that love doesn't just endure, it can bloom anew, no matter how many years pass. If this tale has stirred even a small glow in your heart, I'd love to hear about it. Has an unexpected moment ever rekindled a forgotten passion or family bond for you, like it did for Amanda? Share your experience in the comments. I'm all ears. Please show your support with a subscription and a like. I'll keep bringing you heartwarming stories like this one. See you in the next story.